Jack Darby here, and when I'm not taking rides with RC, I like watching video reviews from Optibotimus.
What's up, you beautiful collectors and Transformer fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of the absolutely incredible contributions from my Optibotimus Plus channel members, specifically Sub-Zero JMD, who's been a channel member of mine for the past 2 years, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Prime Universe Knockout. Another addition to that Prime Universe almost subline in the Legacy series. This was one I was really looking forward to. Knockout was a really fun character in the Transformers Prime cartoon, and I'm glad that they're visiting him again here. For the package, as you can see, you got that gorgeous art of him in his vehicle mode, which is an absolutely beautiful looking car. Of course, you got the Transformers text with the Generation logo. You got that openness, which you come around to the side. Gorgeous image of him right here. As we know, this Prime Universe sort of thing takes these characters and updates them a little bit, giving them a slightly different look, but still really does a nice job of homaging their original looks as well. Come around to the other side, you got other characters that we're probably going to be getting. In fact, we probably already got most of them. Come around to the back of the box, you can see that he transforms in 18 steps, and you got images of him in his robot and his vehicle mode. And then, if you want to, you can scan that little guy and get like a bio for him. You got the tech specs and stuff. And then, of course, all sorts of legal mumbo-jumbo. But for the package on this guy, that's about it. So, without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have Knockout open up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And, you know, this Prime Universe has kind of gotten a bad rap, honestly, and it's very unfortunate because the figures are actually really well done. Knockout here is the third one. Previously, we got RC, and then, of course, Bulkhead. And I always thought that they looked really very cool, and honestly, I think these guys are looking great together as well. Obviously, RC being a motorcycle is way too big, and then this kind of little military thing is probably too small, but for the most part, the figures are really good, and Knockout here is absolutely as impressive as those other ones. For his weapons, you can see you get two of them. You do get like this little sniper rifle sort of thing. You also get, I think they call this like an energon shield or something. You can see that it's kind of got like this smoky translucent bit here with this nice blue paint here in the center. But you can take this guy and you can plug this in and recreate the spear that he had a lot of times in the show. And that, honestly, I think that's very cool. I mean, you have the options of different weapons, but I think ultimately that's what I'm going to go with. You got a couple different ports and everything on there, so if you really wanted to, you can even take this, plug that on there, and have them drive around with that. If you want to, you got holes here on the tops and the sides. You also have a hole right over there. Now, Knockout is a heavy retool of Jazz, and really, there's not a lot that's similar between the two. Maybe like the tires or something, but a lot of him has been done completely differently. And what I like about this is, even though that, you know, Bulkhead, you know, kind of looks like how we did, and RC kind of looks like how she did, Knockout really does look here the way he did in the show. This is a very nice representation of that car mode he had. He got a whole lot more angular and sleek in his robot mode, but car mode here looks fantastic. I love the different fade elements here in the side of like these little flames. That looks really cool, and you can see you got the nice red color and then silver, and then it blending to like this darker red that kind of comes around here to the side here and back of the car. I mean, that's really very sharp. Really nice Decepticon logo right there. It's very tiny. It's very tiny, the Decepticon logo. Gorgeous front grille here with some nice silver paint. You got these, and then it looks like a translucent plastic here for the headlights, and then that's also used in the windshield and such. Love that logo sort of thing molded in there. And then you got the nice yellow rims all the way around. Very cool looking figure. Cleans up very, very nicely. And you would expect that. I mean, because like I said, he is sharing that same engineering as that, what was that? The Studio Series 86 Jazz. So it all works pretty good. I really dig the guy. Rolls, as he should. Overall, just a very fun and stylized, yet accurate looking vehicle mode. Now, to transform him, first we're going to come around here to the side. You're going to kind of pull this away, lift those little doors up. Pull that away. That tabs in very securely, and then lift those doors up like that. Come around here to this back section, kind of wiggle all of that until that whole bit comes up. Now, you want to kind of keep these on a little angle, not completely flat down, but not completely out. Want to kind of keep them like that. That way you can take this, and then this whole section will fold in, and then you can collapse this in on it just like that. Now, there are tabs underneath here, but they don't really, you got a little whole section of stuff. You got a little tab right there. Doesn't really do very much. It just kind of sits there, but there it is. Come around here with these arms. You can rotate these out just like so. Rotate those out like so. I'm just going to get those lifted up, kind of get them out of the way. And then this section here, you want to rotate around just like that. And then take this on the inside here. Well, let's go from this angle. This right here, you want to push this section as far down and forward as you can. And then take the head section, and that's going to rotate up like that. And then take this, put that right back. No, not all the way there. You're going to put it right there. Then this whole bit right here is going to come down, and you got little prongs on this little waist section that are going to lock in here. But bring that around. Get these tires out of the way. There we go. And then bring that around and give that a good push. And that just kind of frictions in there, but it sits there pretty decently. So you can have that. Get these arms. Get that. There we go. Just push that all the way down. Rotate these arms down and around. Come down here to these legs. You can split them right in the middle and then extend them down and out on the little double hinge. So again, do that there. Mine are really very tight. I've seen some people have fairly loose ones. Mine is like almost scary tight. Like that is really tight. The knees are really tight. I'm really happy with that, but well, this one's not as tight as this one, but really very sharp. Take the feet, point those forward, and then take these little side bits here. You kind of want to pull them away from the body and then rotate them around just like that. Get that right on this side. Yeah, there we go. Do that on this side. So again, kind of pull away, rotate that around just like that. Kind of putting that on an angle of sorts right there. Get that all the way back. There we go. Just like that. Take this back section. You got a double hinge right here. So you want to lower it at the lower hinge so that you can bring it down and it collapses nicely there along the back. Fold out the fistums. Maybe. Fistums. There we go. There's that. Bring that down. Fold out this fistum. Rotate that around. And when you're done, there you have Knockout in his knockout of a robot mode. And I know a lot of people like complaining about these new Prime Universe figures not really staying true entirely to how they looked in the animation. But much like Transformer figures throughout the years, they always evolve, they always change. I mean, the Classics in Universe line was really kind of well known for that. You know, you look at a figure such as Bumblebee. Instead of being a Volkswagen Beetle, they made him kind of like a little Mini Cooper. Optimus Prime still was a truck, but a very more stylized looking one. So I feel like a lot of people that are maybe coming into Transformers around the time of Transformers Prime don't really get that sort of thing. But I think what they did here with Knockout is fantastic. Now, a lot of people, let's do the comparisons, again, complained about Bulkhead not looking the way that Bulkhead did in the cartoon. He still looks really darn good. Same thing here with RC. I think that she looks really good as well. Now, obviously, again, scale, she should be a little bit smaller. He might be a little bit, I don't want to say chubbier, but he just felt like the type of guy that had maybe a bigger, rounder belly. And again, same thing here with Knockout. I think that they did a great job with this guy. In terms of the updated look for him, obviously, he is not at that stylized look. I guess they could have made him look a little bit better if you made it where, like, the chest could open or something, and make these bits be a little bit more angular or something like that. But in general, I still think that they did a great job, and I think that he still stays true to the character, which for me works perfectly. And the scale here, again, I think is pretty darn good. Obviously, he's a bigger figure because he's the Voyager, but RC being a deluxe fits with what we have going on here. Now, as you can see, you do have his weapon here. You can connect it and all that kind of stuff. You can have him hold it in a couple different ways. Obviously, you could use that post. You can use this little handle section here. Come around here to the back. You can use this, where if you really wanted to have that kind of slung over his shoulder kind of look, you could do something along those lines if you wanted, or you rotate it around that way. I mean, personal preference, do whatever you want. But you do have weapon storage. The overall look on him is really solid, as I talked about. And I think that people just have to evolve from thinking that he's got to look a certain way. I think his head sculpt is fantastic. That really nails it. The chest, for the most part, did I separate that? Oh, wait, no, I didn't. The chest, like I was talking about, it's not as angular, but I still think it does a pretty good job. You kind of got a little bit of that angle sort of thing with the roof section. That's not terribly bad. Colors all look really good. When you do transform him, you get more of this gray and silver coming through. Solid look for him. His backpack cleans up fairly decently. I like the way that it collapses and everything. A lot of the engineering that we got with that Studio Series Deluxe Class Jazz carries over to this guy, so it makes sense. It's a solid looking figure. I really am happy with him. Articulation wise, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a good range of motion looking left and right. You do get a little bit of up and down, not a ton, but there is some there. The shoulders do move forward and back, in and out. He rotates at the upper part of the bicep, I guess. You got a 90-degree bend at the elbow. No wrist rotation, but you do have, kind of as part of the transformation, a hinge, so you can kind of move it in and out. You do have a waist swivel. Hips move forward, back. That's really super stiff on that. So you do get the forward and back at the hips, the in and out, and then right at the thigh, you have the rotation. You do have a bend at the knee, but because of the double hinge, it tends to kind of break that, not break, but separate that other one and make it kind of bend. I wish that locked in a little bit more securely. There's a tab there, but it's not overly secure. So you do have that kind of joint. And again, mine is really tight, so that just might be a product of the joint being as tight as it is. You do have some toe articulation, and then you do have an ankle tilt on them. But when you do it, obviously it breaks that whole thing up. So, super fun figure, super cool. I do really hope they continue with this Transformers Prime line. I'd be very curious to see how they would tackle Megatron, for example. He was a very fun character, very fun figure, and again, and even Megatron would be cool. I'd be curious really to see how they would actually also do Starscream, who was a very, very thin robot. Him, Soundwave, all of them would look amazing. I'd be really curious to see what they would do to kind of update that overall look. Now, to transform him back, first we're going to rotate the fists around, or the arms around, and rotate these fists up just like that. Now, this, you can see that this, I do also wish this securely locked in a little bit more, but it's not terrible. Take the feet, you want to point those down, and then slightly pull the outer panel around, and then rotate that all the way around till it gets locked into place right along the side. So again, kind of pull it away from that the side section, rotate that all the way around. You might have to pull again to get it to lock up and in. There you go. Come on, get that lined up there. And then you want to take these, and you're going to hinge these up on that double joint there. So again, double hinge, bring that up and lock that in, and then connect the lower sections. that can be tricky too. There we go. Just like so. Now, take this. You want to take this section here. You can lift this up around, and then this middle section will rotate all the way around. That will create the clearance to bring the actual arms and everything down into place. So once you have that, you can move this forward. Take the head, push the head down all the way until it's kind of straight, and then take this bit, bring this up and around, and that's going to sit right there. Come around to this back section again. Open these just to about there, and then you can fold out the rest of the back roof part, and then from that point you can kind of bring that all the way around. Just kind of helps things out a little bit more. You're going to then hinge this down, and these are going to line up, lock into place right along that side. And again, kind of keep that out. Take this, rotate this around, and then spin this in and sit that right there. Do that as well on here. Bring it down, rotate that around and in, and now you have this little section right here. This can get a little bit tricky only because you kind of have to pull this away to lock that in. So bring this down, and you're going to have a little post and tab section right here that lock everything up. That's going to just line up there, kind of moving around, and then this piece here goes there. What's happening? There we go. So that's now nice and lined up. Go on to the other side. Again, bring this around. Kind of pull this away. Kind of collapse that. Push that in there. Kind of keep that nice and squeezed together. And when you're done, there you have Knockout back in his very cool looking vehicle mode. Overall, though, stellar figure. I really do think so. I know a lot of people complain, but as I said, I don't think they really get a grasp that a lot of times the overall look of the character changes as time progresses. A lot of us, I'm not trying to make this an older fan versus newer fan thing, but we're used to that for the most part. And hopefully the fans of the Transformers Prime show that came into the fandom because of this can learn to appreciate them. They are good toys still nonetheless. Bulkhead is good, RC is good, and Knockout is also really good. Vehicle mode, I do think, is probably a little bit more accurate looking. He definitely does have that look in the film. Transformation is simple. If you know Jazz, you're going to know what to do with this guy. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The transformation is fun to do. And that robot mode still looks really nice. Despite the fact that it doesn't have that more angular, very sharp looking sort of design, he still looks cool and, without a doubt, reminds me of Knockout. So 100% I would recommend picking this guy up. He is just a good, solid toy, regardless of how accurate he is. So there you go, my friends. There's my look at the new Transformers Legacy Prime Universe Deluxe Class Knockout. If you'd like to add this guy to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or even Entertainment Earth. For all of those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can head on over there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. And as a special bonus just for you guys, if you click on my link to Entertainment Earth, in addition to a lot of times them running deals on free shipping, by using my link, you can save yourself 10% off of all in-stock figures. So if you can't help to support the channel by becoming a channel member, doing something like that also can really help. And finally, guys, please remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all for tuning in and watching, and taking the time to be a kid.